Lena. Hi, Laura.
How are you doing, friend?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm literally jumping on 3 different events at one time. And I'm running to get my prescription on top of that. So I just left the chapter meeting for the UAPRN, which I was hosting. I told somebody, I said, you're co-host now. I got to go get my prescription. Then I'm jumping on your meeting. And then there's another one at 8 o'clock.
Well, if you would like, how about drive safely and de-stress? We're recording this, and I can send you the link to the recording afterwards.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. You look beautiful today, by the way.
Thank you. A little makeup like I normally don't wear during our meet, every day today in a mask.
But your hair looks really pretty too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Of course, you always look great. So.
Oh gosh, no. So is anybody else on here?
Yeah, we have a total of 5. I had 6 RSVPs, so I was waiting a few more minutes to get started. Probably about 7:10, we're just going to have to roll with or without everybody. And
okay. Well, hi and bye, everyone, and thank you so much for sending me the link. I'm very excited to see it.
Hey, you're welcome. Let me tell you something real quick before you go. I'm excited that our May meeting, we've got Stephen Montgomery that's going to be teaching the intro to music therapy starting in the fall. He's going to be presenting to our chapter for our May meeting.
Really?
I've been trying to get
exciting.
Yeah, I've been trying to get a music therapist for 5 years, so we finally got one to come and talk. So excited.
Oh, I'm so excited about that. That is fantastic. That is good. Coup d'etat, my friend.
Yay.
And you won't say it, so I'll announce it for you. Dr. Langley Brady is presenting internationally, as well as nationally, on her research. So congratulations. You are very well deserved, my friend.
Thank you. I only want to talk about the pending stress cloud, getting all 3 presentations ready in the near future.
Yeah, you've got it. This is, this like the back of your hand. You've got this. Not a problem.
Yep. You take care.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So for those of you that may not know who that was, that's Dr. Elena Pendergast, who is the head of the CNL program. And she's a hospice and palliative care nurse practitioner here in the CSRA. So, all right, we ready to get started? For those of you that just joined, I have included several attachments in the map. I'm not get my words mixed up in the chat. There are several maps, the JPEGs and one PDF. There are tons of maps online as well if you don't like the ones that I found and have shared. And we'll be using those later in the presentation. If you don't like feet, this probably isn't the presentation you want to attend. Some people have an aversion to feet, but we have them, we use them. And it's very difficult to get along without them. So I hope you'll enjoy this interactive presentation, but we will start with some other things. So let me get ready to share my screen. And if you will let me know in the chat once I share, if you can see my presentation, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so please let me know if you see a kind of a yellowish presentation. You can let me know in the chat. That would be amazing.
We can see it.
Awesome. Okay, so welcome to CSRA chapter, the American Holistic Nursing Association's March meeting. So we're going to have a little grounding. Might do that before or after. We'll see how that goes in a centering, and then give those students that need it just a recap of our chapter and some reminders. And then we're going to pause, and then we'll have our interactive presentation. And like I promised students in the email, this will not be boring PowerPoint presentation on everything reflexology related. We are going to watch a bunch of awesome videos, and we will stop to practice as we go through. So fun, fun, fun. Hopefully you don't mind rubbing your feet, or you've got a partner you can rub their feet. I have nobody but me, so I have to rub my own feet. So first, we're going to start with some grounding. So if everybody can just take a moment, please do not do this if you're driving. Please, please, please. But take a moment and just sit comfortably in whatever you're sitting in, the chair, on the pillow, the couch, or whatever, so that everything is supported. Close your eyes. Gently relax your hands, palm up if that's comfortable, in your lap. And we're just going to take a couple of deep breaths to relax and ground ourselves and kind of let go of that stress from the day or the week. I know many of us have been extremely busy this week, and fitting this in has just added another thing to our to-do list. But hopefully during this time, you'll be able to relax and enjoy participating and not feel so stressed afterwards. So if you can join me, just take a long 4-count breath in. And we're going to hold for the count of 4. And then exhale to the count of 4. And again, inhale. Hold. And exhale. A third time. Inhale. Hold. And then relax and let go of stress as you exhale. And one last time, we'll inhale. Hold. And as you breathe out this last time, just let go of all tensions and worries and be present in the moment. And slowly open your eyes. Okay, does that feel a little bit better, everyone? Hopefully. Okay, and now centering, for those of you that joined us last time, one method you can use to center, and this is kind of balancing some energy, is a very simple method. And if you could stand and do it, that's fine. If I stand up, I'm going to be out of the frame, but if you stand up and kind of clasp your hands like so, and you're going to flip them inside out, but kind of this way. Actually, I'm doing it the wrong way. My apologies. It's been a long week for me as well. After 2 days of clinical, the brain just doesn't work as fast as it usually does. I'm sorry. This way. We're going to clasp, and then we're going to bring them in. And then we're going to relax our face on our hands and just breathe for about 10 seconds. Okay, then undo, then we're going to grasp the opposite way. Okay, and then one's more comfortable than the other for most people, and your hand will go to the opposite side. And just rest your face for another 10 seconds and just breathe. Okay, and I kind of like to shake everything off afterwards and stomp a little bit and get ready to go. All right. So for those of you that need a chapter detail for your homework assignments. I founded this chapter in April of 2012. There is a Savannah chapter, and currently one chapter in Atlanta and in Northeast, kind of between Atlanta and the Tennessee border. We currently have about 10 members. We've had a lot leave recently, just retiring, stress of COVID, that sort of thing, just wanting to kind of disassociate with all active nursing and the stress that goes with it, which is sad, but we're here for everybody. We have received 5 proclamations from the city during this time in celebration of Florence Nightingale Day, which typically happens near your May graduation. So her birthday is May 11. And our mission is to promote holistic nursing and integrative healthcare in the CSRA, while also supporting and nurturing nurses in their holistic journey and the ability to provide self-care and better handle their day-to-day work as a nurse. And we accept everybody. You don't have to be a nurse to join our chapter, or actually National AHNA as well. Some topics of our previous meetings. We've spanned from acupuncture to aromatherapy, laughter yoga, Jinjitsu, herbal therapy, stress reduction for students, whole body vibration therapy, and usually have something special for Nurses Week. It's a little hard during virtual meetings. Normally we would do something interactive. We've had massage therapists come in, we've painted, done all sorts of things like that. And then in the summer, we try to offer some movies for free CNEs, just as a gift to nurses. We do have a student member program. Benefits of that are, of course, networking and support from local holistic nurses, enhancing your resume and learning how to take care of yourself. And then there are opportunities to earn a cord for graduation. We did extend our Holistic Nursing Student of the Year Award deadline. It was March 1st. We've extended to April 1st because no one has applied yet this year. It's not a lot, but there's a $100 check and a goodie bag, a swag bag, so to speak, that comes with that, and a nice certificate. You can put it on your resume as well. Qualifications are here, and I will load this PowerPoint at the end in the chat as well for anyone to reference, and you can find it on our website as well, and that's CSRA-AHNA-chapter.webs.com. Still need volunteers. And we still have 2 ongoing community projects, new nurse self-care kits and nursing unit self-care kits. I have extended our goal. We're hoping to get the new nurse self-care kits completely made and distributed, hopefully now April 15th, just depends on some more donations coming in. And then we would like to start with AUMC and CHOG, making nursing self-care kits, just a little basket of self-care tools for nurses, and of course our local hospitals. And then if we get more supplies afterwards, we'll reach out to University Hospital, both of their campuses, and the VA hospital. And then if it gets bigger than that, we'll move across the river to Aiken Regional Medical Center as well, and Eisenhower. So I do want to take you to a site here. So AHNA's annual conference is coming up. They have an annual conference every June. And all I can say is when I attended my very first one in 2011, I came home feeling like I've never felt before. It was an experience where I was with people that thought like I did, felt like I did. I felt like I finally found my home, which is really hard to say sometimes in life. These were my people, this was my tribe. And I told my husband that I don't care what I had to do, I was going to attend every conference they had until I could no longer attend conferences. So I've been blessed to be able to attend each one. I know I had a son that decided to get married in the middle of one, so I just attended a pre-conference workshop for that year. And last year we had to cancel due to COVID. So this year's conference is last year's. And I do have a link to the annual conference here. I'll just take you really quick just so you can see. hopefully it will go there. But this year, it moves every year. So this year's location is in Orlando. Haven't been to Florida with AHNA since I've been going to their conferences, but there's all sorts of information about the conference here if you're interested. Out of that one. Give me just a sec. I do want to take you to something, but I'm going to have to exit screen here for just a sec. So I'm going to stop sharing briefly. My apologies. I should have had this up easier to get to. Give me just a second. Gotta pull up. I want to pull up the brochure. We're trying to be a little more eco-friendly and not mailing out brochures for the conference anymore. So I'm going to share my screen again. There we go. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. This is our 41st annual conference. So yeah, holistic nursing has been around a very long time. And the theme this year is weaving traditions to create solutions and find balance. Happy to say this year's keynote and endnote presenters. Keynote is Dr. Barbara Dossey. If you're not familiar with her, she was one of the founding members of AHNA and is a huge holistic nursing theorist and is in quite a few textbooks for nursing and nursing theory. So you may have come across her, and someone that I've admired for all of my time as a nurse and never got to meet or listen to very often, especially not in person, is Dr. Patch Adams. If you're familiar with any of his work, this is going to be definitely a treat. And anyway, if you're interested in receiving this brochure, it is on the page that we went to just a few minutes ago, but I can also email it as well. For the first time ever, let's see if I can scroll down to page 7 here. They are offering a virtual one-day conference track only, which might fit everybody's budget a little bit better, but gives you some intro and some really great topics. So intro in integrative medicine, and this is healing your gut. Talking about how our gut, the microbiome is immunity and like our second brain to keep the body healthy. Understanding clinical application of meditation and imagery. Strengthening therapeutic relationships. And this is looking at the cycle and culture of chronic pain experience in patients. Doing an empirical spiritual assessment, which is very important for each patient you care for in your future. Using self-hypnosis for being your best. Oxidative stress. And they're talking about aronia berry. And this is so cool because I planted some aronia berry bushes last year. They're only, I think, maybe about 14 inches tall. It's going to be several years before they produce fruit yet, but I'm so excited to have some eventually to be able to eat from in my life. And then millennials and spirituality and how we can improve assessments and create a sacred space for our patients. So those will be the only sessions that are live, but will also be offered virtually. And I don't want to brag, I'm going to go down 2 more if I can. I highlighted here, this is my research paper presentation I was supposed to present last year, and of course that was canceled, but this is the Photo Voice project. Chemotherapy-reduced peripheral neuropathy and breast cancer survivors. That was a qualitative portion of my mixed method study for my dissertation. So I'm going to get out of this and back here. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to give you an opportunity. Let's take about 5-10 minute break, whatever you feel comfortable with. If you need to run to the restroom, get some water. Hopefully everyone brought some lotion or some massage oil or something. I'm not promoting any product, but this is one I like using. It's called Near Perfection by Plant Therapy. It's a carrier oil blend. A little slippery, a little greasy. You might want some lotion. Other than that, when you're working on your feet, depends what you like. And if you have an essential oil added to it, that's even better. But if you don't have those handy, please take this time to run and grab something. And of course, you don't have to use anything. You can practice without any oil. But we'll take a break really quickly. And then I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay. Let's go here. So, of course, learning objectives for today is just to be able to describe what reflexology is, how it can support your health, when to avoid its use, and how your body hopefully is enhanced by the use of reflexology. To demonstrate hand and foot techniques now, I'm not going to ask you to show your feet and show how you're doing it. I just trust that you do that on your own. And if you don't want me to show my foot and what I'm doing, I won't show my feet either. But I'm already barefoot, raring to go. And then we'll talk just a little bit about some of the current research. Okay, so believe it or not, around 2330 BC, some Egyptian hieroglyphics from that time showed reflexology in use, actually. You know, someone rubbing feet and rubbing hands, which was really cool. Modern US reflexology began with what was called zone theory by doctors Fitzgerald and Bowers around 1917. And there was a physical therapist, Eunice Ingham, that enhanced that theory and started including foot reflexology in the 1930s. You can't see that link, but there's a link to the US Reflexology Association that distinctly uses what they have coined the Ingham reflexology method from Eunice Ingham, if you're interested in that. Of course, it's been used across the world ever since 2000 BC. So that same organization, this is their definition of reflexology, science which deals with the principle that there are reflex areas in the feet and hands which correspond to all of the glands, organs, and parts of the body, and stimulating those reflexes properly can help maintain or help with many health problems in a natural way. And of course, they call it preventive maintenance, which is what all of us should be doing to keep ourselves healthy and well. And they don't want that confused with massage because it works a bit differently. So if you think about massage, the goal of massage is to relax muscles and increase circulation. And in the aspect of the tissue being massaged, it also increases the levels of oxygen and nitric oxide in the tissue, which decreases pain and increases blood flow, which is tremendous. Some massage therapists do include myofascial release, and that's a whole different story. But neither one of those are reflexology. Some massage therapists do get trained in reflexology so they can provide, excuse me, simple reflexology massage to the foot or the hands during their massage. But a typical reflexology massage will usually take an hour, if not longer, on just your feet, if you can imagine that. There are some great reflexology practitioners in the area. None of them have wanted to ever come present to the chapter. But anyway, but you can search for some on the website that's listed in that previous slide, or of course through a reputable reflexology organization. So what does reflexology do? Most methods of it are used to relax, to decrease tension. And most doctors that practice in this agree that about 75% of health problems can be linked to nervous stress and tension. And the link for that is there. So I found a really great reflexologist online, and she's got tons of videos, not tons, hundreds, close to maybe, videos, and we're going to be looking at her videos tonight. So here is her definition of what is reflexology. And I'm going to click on this link here. Hopefully it'll open up in the same screen, and you can let me know if you can't hear her talking. Sorry, I hate ads. We're going to have to get rid of a lot of ads here in just a minute. We can dance to our ad. Ready. Please let me know with a thumbs up if you can hear.
It's very low, Dr. Langley Brady.
Okay. Better?
No, it's still really hard to hear.
Okay. No, let me see. Give me just a sec. Let me see if I can adjust something in my settings. Let me stop sharing real quick and see if there's anything else I can do on this end. MS Teams is the best for the audios. But let me see what I can do if I can make this any better. Let's try again.
So, what is reflexology? Reflexology is both an ancient art and science as well as a modern day practice. How it works, there are reflexes in your feet and your hands and your ears and your face that correspond to every part of your body. So by applying pressure to these points, we are sending the message through the body for the corresponding organ or gland or part of the body to relax. You could think of it almost like a map. There's a map of the body in your feet or in your hands or your ears. And so we're stimulating pressure specifically on points and then specifically on all points. Reflexology is really great for stress reduction. It's really great for getting everything kind of circulating again. We're assisting in helping the nutrients and oxygen go to all the cells in the body. Also, you know, the body is very intelligent and it knows how to heal itself, but it needs to be in a place of balance for it to do so. So reflexology helps in that process, kind of brings it back to that place of homeostasis so that it can heal.
What we really wanted to do was start a business that was.
I'm not as quick as this would like me to be. Okay. Were you able to hear that all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So this is just a little blurb from the Mayo Clinic that has information for patients on it, how reflexology might be used for health. This particular physician, Dr. Barr, described it. Of course, you just got this part from the previous video, but it's generally relaxing, may help alleviate stress. And several studies indicate that it may help reduce pain and psychological symptoms such as stress and anxiety and enhance relaxation and sleep. It's also a low risk complementary therapy. So it can be a reasonable option if you're seeking, again, relaxation and stress relief. So when to avoid it? It's debatable, depending on who you ask, whether it should be used with pregnant women or not. And of course, with every complementary therapy, mostly every complementary therapy, there's a lack of research in pregnant women. Why? Because no one wants to accept liability for something happening to an unborn child during a woman's pregnancy, which is completely understandable. And most IRBs, if you have not had your research course yet, that's an institutional review board that goes over the study idea that a researcher has and what methods they're going to use to collect this data and determines if it's appropriate and safe for use in whatever patient population they want to study. And most of the time, there is no research based on that. And for example, my aromatherapy research from traditional aromatherapy texts, none of the essential oils I was using was going to be harmful to a fetus. However, because I could not demonstrate safety for pregnant women through a previous clinical study that's published. The IRB made me state in my protocol that I was not going to allow pregnant women or women that were trying to get pregnant to enroll in my study, okay? Simply to keep the pregnant woman and the fetus viable and without any negative effects of whatever the intervention is. So additionally, people that have gout or foot and ankle injuries, open sores, infections, those sorts of things you want to avoid. And as the practitioner said in her video, of course, feet, hand, ear is what we see mostly. I've not seen anyone conduct face reflexology yet, but I think that would feel amazing. I might go try to find someone to do that on my face because it sounds phenomenal. But if you have any of the problems with the feet or the ankles, the hand and the ear, etc., could be used without any problems. Again, people with chronic leg or foot diseases, arthritis, etc., I recommend that they consult their primary care provider before using foot reflexology. So same practitioner here. We're going to go and listen to her do's, don'ts. I really love her voice, by the way.
That face
Sorry, more
that
ad.
is usually covered by her phone has finally made an appearance.
Price of free videos.
So reflexology do's and don'ts. Do, definitely cut your nails. Do cut your nails. Do wash your hands, and do wash your friends' feet. They could easily either do it in the bath, or you could certainly bring a basin to them and wash their feet for them. It's a really nice gesture. Do ground yourself, and do be comfortable. I think the better session you'll be able to give will depend on how comfortable and centered you are. So really ground yourself and be present for the person you're giving to. Don'ts. You don't want to work on there's certain contraindications, there's certain reasons why you don't want to work on the feet. If they have a current sprain, or if they have severe chronic edema, you want to stay away from those areas. Also, if there's any kind of infectious thing going on, if there's any kind of oozing liquid, you want to stay away from that. If there's athlete's foot even, you're going to want to stay clear of that. Plantar's wart as well, you'll want to stay clear of that. You could certainly work around these areas, but you want to be mindful. Again, you want to take care of yourself and you want to take care of them. And so the better you take care of yourself, the more you'll be able to give.
And don't we say that in every aspect of nursing, right? You can't give from an empty cup, so you have to take care of yourself. Research, I just played and searched for reflexology, published between 2015 and 2021 in PubMed today, and found over 3,000 potential manuscripts. Just in the first couple of pages, there were studies, both pilot studies and clinical trials, that showed some success in the following health indications. So disturbed sleep, anxiety, stress, of course, depression, fatigue, pain, low back pain, all sorts of arthritis pain and so forth. And the most interesting one, I hadn't heard of this yet, but I can't wait to read some more about this and share it with some of my patients, is chronic constipation. Where I'm at, we're going to teach pediatric clinical and have some practicum students on 4C and CHOG. We get a lot of children with chronic constipation. They can just be your normal average kid, or cerebral palsy, some with GI motility issues, a variety of indications and diagnoses coming with chronic constipation. We are seeing a huge increase of chronic constipation since everybody has been homeschooling. Go figure, right? They're not running around, maybe not having recess. So this lack of education, they have access to food whenever they feel like it. So they're eating a lot more and gaining weight, like a good majority of us have. And so they're eating things oftentimes that aren't as healthy, don't have as much fiber. Children especially tend to not drink as much water as they need to. And we know lack of water, lack of movement, lack of fiber, all those things, and sedentary lifestyles increase constipation risk. But they have some great studies, adult and peds, in using reflexology to help with constipation. So check some of those out sometime. Now, everyone ready? You got your lotion or your massage oil or any of that ready, I hope? Yes. Yes. Unfortunately, in this presentation mode, I can't see the chat anymore or see you guys until I get out of this, but hopefully the answer is yes. Well over 50 videos are found on this YouTube channel, and this is from Howcast, and it's just on reflexology. So we're going to go there, and then we're going to be looking at a couple. So I've listed the numbers of the videos in case you want to reference them in the future. I don't think any of them are longer than about 3 minutes. So it'll give us plenty of time to go through the video and then some time to practice what they say. So first one is 6 tools to use. There's a foot warm up that you can do on yourself. And then she's going to say how a professional would begin a foot reflexology session. Some 5 basic techniques. There are separate videos that further go into detail in these techniques. We're not going to view them here. And then 3 in a row, 19, 20, 21 is how to work the arch of the foot, the ball of the foot, and the heel, and then how to finish a professional reflexology session. And then there are a couple that go over hand reflexology. This is just an intro one, number 48, and hand reflexology. So just to let you know, as a nurse, we have, or when you graduate and you get licensed, you have a license to touch, okay? So what that means is that your patient, of course, has to say you can touch them, and you need to touch people in a culturally appropriate way. But we can put our hands on our patients. We can do some gentle massage, some gentle manipulation, especially if we've been trained in it. Now, as I am a board certified advanced holistic nurse, and the advanced aspect comes from having either a master's or a doctoral degree. But under the scope and standards of practice for holistic nursing, which is a specialty under the American Nursing Association Credentialing Center. So this is accepted nationwide. There are some differences by state, so you have to look at state regulations, and then of course by institution. But as a holistic nurse in general, if we have been trained in a modality, so I'm a certified clinical aromatherapist, I have had intro training in guided imagery and meditation, and just 8 hours in biodistressing that we had our last chapter meeting, things like that. If you've had some training that you can demonstrate competency, then you can provide that in your place of employment or in your own practice. A lot of holistic nurses have their own practice, but you have to make sure that, again, your organization is okay with you doing that, and that there's nothing against you using complementary therapies in your individual state scope and standards of practice for registered nurses. So just wanted to put that out there. I use several things, or at least suggest to some of my patients in the hospital setting what they may can use, and if they're open to it, I can show them how to natural biodistress or tap, or I can lead them through a guided imagery meditation or those sorts of things, but it's all at the permission and acceptance of the patient that I'm taking care of. Okay, so continuing on, we are going to go here. Try to make that be quiet. Actually, I was hoping it would take me right to the channel, but it's not. I have it over here, so give me just a moment. I'm going to pull it over to the screen and see if you can see it. So can you see all the videos here?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So there's lots and lots of them. So if you really find this interesting, please come to this site. And if you really dig it, then of course you can look at some further training. I'm sure after you graduate from nursing school and pass your state boards and are comfortable in your first year of practice. As I would not add anything else to your mental plate right now, because I know nursing school is hard, very hard. So we're going to go to number 2. Here we go.
So what you need to do foot reflexology, you don't need much. You really just need your own hands and then either your own feet or someone else's feet. You can use lotion. It's not required. If you do use lotion, just use a little bit. You really don't need more than a little dime. Or you could just put it on your hands and then once over on the feet at the start of the session, and that's enough. You want to make sure that you're not creating a barrier between yourself and your friend's feet. So if you do decide to use a lotion, make sure it's fragrance-free, make sure that there's only maybe a few ingredients. You're not going to be using a lot, so really get a good lotion if you decide to use one. And really the only other thing you'll need is a place of comfort, a place for them to lie down, to maybe put a pillow underneath their knees or their feet, and you'll need a chair for yourself. If you're at the end of the bed or couch or chair, you'll just need to be in a chair that either has wheels or not. If it doesn't have wheels, you could sit on a little pillow to prop yourself up. And that's it. That's really all you need for a foot reflexology session.
Okay, then we're going to do the warm up feet with a traction technique. You see there's several different ones to warm up the feet. But we're going to try the traction technique. So let's go ahead.
So we're going to be doing how to warm up the feet with relaxation techniques for reflexology. So we're going to begin with a little bit of traction, and you could just hold here, just under the ankle, nestling the heels, and you could just lean back. And this will allow for a little stretch along the bottom of her legs. And then you can release. Another thing you could do is rotate the toes. So you just want to be sure to hold on to the base of the toe, and then you're going to rotate. And I'm actually holding on to the foot as well. So you rotate in one direction and then the other. You're doing it really slowly. It's really relaxing the slower you go. You do all the toes and both feet. You could also do kind of a lift and stretch of the toes. So you're going to want to hold on to the base of the toes, and then you're going to lift up, and you're going to stretch one of them towards your friend or family member, and then the other one towards you. So you're going to hold on to the base, you're going to lift up, and then stretch. And you can stretch in the other direction too. And then take the next toes, lift up, and stretch. Another thing you could do is what we call the spinal twist. Certainly a lot of these names, you're not actually on the spine, you're on the spinal reflex. So you're just gonna come across, your hands are gonna be side by side like this, and they're just gonna hold the foot. Your thumbs are on the bottom of the foot, the plantar aspect. So you hold it like this, and you're just gonna twist. So your top hand is twisting towards your friend or the person you're working on, and the bottom one is coming towards you, kind of like we did with the toes. And you only go all the way up to here, which is the top of that metatarsal, right? So you're twisting here. And you could do the other foot too, of course. Always do both. We call it bilateral.
Okay. So you ready to try that, everybody?
Yes, ma'am, we're ready.
Okay. Everybody got your feet unclothed? I'm going to stop sharing for just a second so I can get out of my PowerPoint here. Okay, so let's take a couple minutes, and you're not going to be able to do the traction on yourself because you're not laying down and you can't pull your own feet while you're laying down, right? Makes sense. So I would suggest that you do the lift your toes and then turn or kind of rotate from side to side. You start with whatever foot is most comfortable. You know how cool this would be if everybody had their toes up in the air and was sharing with everybody? I have some students that are like, don't make me touch people's feet. Feet are great though, and your patients love, you give a foot massage to a patient, especially if you were to use a little lavender lotion right before bedtime, and you will have a lot less issues from your patient during the night. They sleep so much better. It's sad that we don't teach massage in nursing school anymore. We did when I was in nursing school. And then if you are finished with your rotation of your toes, let's try the twist on the foot. It's a little different because we're working on the side of our foot. Maybe you've propped it up on your knee. I don't know about you, I like that one. You like the twist on the side of the foot? Let me know when you're done, and we'll move on to another one.
4 basic foot reflexology techniques. I'm going to add one. There's a reflexologist named Dr. Manzanares from Spain, and he does something called a press and slide, which I think is really effective. The other 4 will be thumb walking, finger walking, a hook and back up, and rotation on the point. So we'll start with thumb walking. With thumb walking, you're basically going to be using the little part of just this joint, right? So you'll just be doing that. A lot of times people will say to kind of come up and back down. I want to really stress that if you can come down and maintain pressure and just come up a little bit and then back down again, so you're moving infinitesimal, you're barely moving. You can practice on your forearm here. And you're going to be doing that. So you're just inching ahead. And again, you're not going to pop up. A lot of people, when they're teaching that, they pop up. So just be sure not to do that. You're going to, with the foot, you're going to press down just a little and come up. And press down and come up. Press down and come up. And I'll sometimes just wave the foot a little bit towards me. That'll allow you to go a little deeper. Similarly, you could do finger walking. With finger walking, I generally use it on the top of the foot, but you could also use it on the sides of the foot, but generally not on the bottom plantar aspect. So with that, you're just going to be doing the same kind of thing where you come down and come back up and back down again. And you'll see I'm supporting the foot with my thumb on the other side. So my thumb's moving too. And you could actually move down between all of the metatarsals here. Hook and back up, you're going to be using your thumb, and you'll go into a point, and then you press down, and then you're going to pull out just a little bit. It can be very deep, so just be mindful and check in with your person, make sure you're not hurting them. So again, you're gonna press down, kind of lean in a little bit, and then back up. Generally, points that are really good to use that on are the spleen reflex and the gallbladder reflex, which are on either side of the feet. So with this side, you'll go hook and back up. Rotation on the point. You're going to also use that thumb walking, and you're just going to rotate the foot. So it's right under the metatarsal heads. You come down and you just rotate over. I'm actually going to walk what is called the diaphragm line. So you go in, you're just going to rotate there. And you can go over the entire diaphragm line. Again, if somebody is, really anxious or feeling stressed out, that diaphragm line, the solar plexus point, which is right here, and the adrenal gland reflex are really powerful. The last point is the press and slide with Dr. Manzanares. This is if you really want to get deep and you don't want to miss any points within there. So you're going to actually press down, you lean in, and you just slide a little bit. And check in with your person. Make sure you're not hurting them. You want the body to kind of kick into a place of parasympathetic, relaxation. If you go beyond that, it's not going to serve them. So again, you press in, and then you go up. Press in and slide. And it'll be continual pressure.
So was anybody doing this to their feet as she was going through it?
I did.
I did as well. If not, let me know and we'll give you time to practice this. Laura or Morgan, you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Okay. So I'm looking at the time now. We've got about 17 minutes left. So I'm going to jump down to working the arch of the foot, and I recommend trying some of these techniques while she's actually doing the video. I know it's a lot of information all at one time, and you probably will not remember it after we've gone on to the next video. But again, this link is in the PowerPoint, and I will put that in the chat. And so you can play with these all you want on your own time schedule. So I'm going to do number 19.
So techniques for the arch of the foot. We're going to be doing mainly thumb walking. We'll do thumb walking from what is considered the heel line here, right up to the diaphragm line, which is right below the heads of the metatarsals. So we'll be doing thumb walking up the foot, and we'll be doing thumb walking across the foot as well, from the outside or the lateral aspect to the inside, towards the medial aspect of the foot. So let's begin. We'll be working in 5 zones. You'll start right here at the base, and you'll just be working all the way up. So you go in. Don't resist the temptation to kind of do a thumb walking where you pull away at all. You're going to want to go in and keep your pressure constant, and then just lift up a little bit and do the next bite. So you're going up, and this is the first zone. A precursor to reflexology was zone therapy, which was discovered by a man named William Fitzgerald. And we're walking those zones now. This is the second zone, going up to the second, right below the metatarsal head. We're doing all of them now. We're in the third. And again, don't rush. You don't need to hurry at all. So take your time, take smaller bites. And then you'll do the last one, which is the 5th zone, towards the 5th, the base of the metatarsal head. And you could do the same going across. So you just go in with this, diaphragm line reflex, going in, keeping your pressure constant and going towards the side of the foot or the medial aspect. And you're doing the whole belly of the foot. And just be aware that you're passing through so many vital organ reflexes in the belly of the feet. You know, right up through this first one, you have the adrenal gland reflex. Just putting pressure and focusing on that is great and really relaxing, and you can hold it. You also have your pancreas reflex, you have your kidney reflexes in both feet. You have on this other foot, you have your liver reflexes and your gallbladder reflexes. The gallbladder and the spleen reflexes, you could kind of do a hook and back up, or you hook in with that thumb pressure and just back it up a little bit, just to get further into that point. But yeah, get yourself a map and look at what you're passing through and what you're thumb walking. So that's the foot reflexology techniques for the arch of the foot.
Okay. Now we're going to move to the ball of the foot.
So I'm just going to put some.
This is how you're going to get the whole of the ball of the feet. So you start at the base with your thumb walking, and you come in, and then you go out, and then in again. Now again, the tendency when you're just starting to do reflexology or starting to do thumb walking is to pop out and go back in and pop out. You really want to keep a firm pressure. Keep the firm pressure and just come out a little bit and back down. So you're maintaining the same pressure in. So you go all the way up and go to the base of the toe. And then what I like to do in between the toes is also with my thumb walking technique, I'm going to go down between the metatarsals, right? Between the metatarsal heads. And then I go down. And then I go back up again on that second metatarsal with my thumb walking all the way to the base of the second digit, and then between and back down again. And you're going to do that for all across below the base of all the toes. And you can also do it across as well, from the lateral aspect, which is the outside of the foot, to the medial aspect, which is the inside of the foot. So you can start at the base, walking that diaphragm reflex line, do your thumb walking there, and then go up a little bit and then do it again all the way across. And this is just more of a detail. You don't have to do it in this direction, but it's a furthering. So you go all the way, and you'll do it all the way to the base of the toes. And also be aware of the reflexes that are in this area. You know, you're going through the lung reflex areas. You're going through the shoulder reflexes. So, you know, get a map and be aware of what you're reflexing. And that's techniques for the ball of the foot.
Everybody good? The heel of the foot. Let me tell you, if you do some of these, even just a little bit of it, before you do your clinical shift, especially if then you put on your compression socks and a good pair of shoes, you will be amazed, I mean truly amazed at how your feet feel at the end of your shift compared to not doing anything to your foot. Even just a simple massage of your foot to, again, increase that circulation and oxygenation and nitric oxide production in that tissue by rubbing your feet for about 5 minutes or so prior to putting the compression socks on and your shoes and going out the door will make a big difference in how your feet feel at the end of your shift. At least for every student I've ever taught that to, so, and myself. All right.
We're going to be primarily using thumb walking, so let's begin there. So I always secure the ankle and the heel with my, in this case, I'm doing it with my right hand. and it's their left foot. I'm going to be doing thumb walking all the way from the very bottom all the way to the top. This is where the heel line is. So we're going to go down, lean in, back up again just a little bit, and then back down again. So we're going all across the heel. It's a very hard tonus there. You know, the heel is just, the skin is tougher. So it's a little bit harder to penetrate. So in order to get in a little deeper, you can lean in with your body. So again, you press down, you're leaning in with your body, and then you're continuing with the thumb walking technique all the way across. If you want to go a little deeper, you could do just a little bit of a slide with the knuckle, and that could be a downward gesture. I don't use the knuckle very often. Primarily, reflexology is really dealing with that thumb walking and the finger walking techniques. But every once in a while in this area, it's fine. So you're going to knuckle down and then you just push down. And again, you want to get the whole heel. The sides. So you're really thorough. And again, just to be aware of the reflexes that you're passing through. This is your whole pelvic region. A lot of stress is held there, especially for women. So you want to really give a lot of attention there. Even just that traction of holding the feet at the very beginning of a session or the end of the session is really nice. And then once you do that, giving a deeper attention there. Also, just be aware, if you have sciatica, the sciatic nerve reflex also passes through the heel. It actually starts on either side of the foot, courses down, and then just passes along through here. So if you have sciatica, you'll want to give this a little bit more attention.
Everybody doing okay?
Yes, ma'am. My mom's really enjoying this.
Is she having you do it to her feet?
Yes.
Way to go, Mom. I tell you, I wish my mom was still with us. Because let me tell you, she would like it. I would like it. I don't know if I could talk any of my 3 sons into touching my feet, but maybe when I'm older, they'll think about it. All right. And then we're just going to touch on, let me go down to number 48. And this is a hand reflexology.
So how to give yourself a hand reflexology session. I always begin with just holding my own hands and placing them in my lap, just like this. And then I begin with my relaxation techniques. So I'll clasp my fingers and I just begin to roll around here. And you could hear all the popping and the clicking and the overuse of my hands. And from there, we could also just pull out here. So it's just from the base of the finger and I'm pulling out. You could also do some dorsiflexion or some palmar flexion. In the feet, it would be plantar flexion in both directions. You could also do a little bit from side to side, inversion, eversion, on both sides, of course. And then you could do some reflexology. So you could do some thumb walking. You could thumb walk. We'll start with the spinal reflex from here, and we'll go all the way up to the tip. So thumb walking, always securing the back side with your other fingers, and you're walking up the spinal reflex. And you go all the way up, and although the spine ends there, I'll go all the way up to the brain reflex, to the very tip. Then you could thumb walk the whole palmar aspect here. So you just thumb walk across. You could do this in any direction. You could also do it this way. You're passing through the digestive reflexes and organ reflexes, kidney reflexes. Up through here, you have your adrenal gland reflex. That could be very intense, a great thing to do on the train as you're going to work. So you'll do the whole surface area all the way up, and you'll go all the way up to just the base of your fingers. And then to do the fingers, you'll create this kind of claw-like shape, and then you'll also be using the thumb. So you'll go to the base of the finger, you'll just rotate towards yourself, and your finger is rotating that way. So you're coming towards yourself and you're rotating. And you'll do that with all your fingers. This actually can go really fast once you get used to it. And you'll do that for both your hands. And you could also do a little bit of finger walking and thumb walking at the same time as you're going down each finger. And you could do that for all your fingers. And then lastly, you don't want to ignore your dorsal aspect of your hand, which is here. And I do thumb walking. So you could thumb walk between each metacarpal. And again, and then I always end where I began. So I'll do a couple more of those relaxation exercises, my rotations. You could do gentle rotations on each finger. And then I end with that solar plexus hold folded in my lap.
How was that?
That felt good.
Didn't it though? So I do want to add a couple more things. Was everybody able to look at the maps that I attached? Yeah? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
How do I view it again?
Well, I uploaded them as a file in the chat, so you should be able to go up, hopefully, and click on it. If not, let me know and I'll email them to everyone as soon as we're done. But I uploaded them in the chat, the very beginning of the chat. So there's a really interesting one. There's lots of interesting ones. The very last one is a foot map for sleep. And I gave a presentation about this to our faculty here back in 2018. And really good just to kind of stimulate some of those points before you go to bed. I also think, especially as students, or if you have a presentation or something really big that's mentally demanding of you, stimulate the tips of the toes and the fingers, the brain points, as you study before you take your test, those sorts of things. Have there been studies on that? Not that I have found, but it helped me, and some of my students say it has helped them. And even if physiologically it doesn't help, mentally thinking it will help you. That good old placebo effect. Can never discount the placebo effect. But I will pull it up for you. And there's one spot on there really quickly. If I can get that up here. And I'm going to share my screen again so you can see it big here. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Remember she was talking about the solar plexus, okay? That's that very center spot. Can you see it kind of right here and right here? Looks a little different on all the maps that I gave you. You'll find lots of maps. Not all of them are completely identical, but most of them have the same general things in the same area. Depends on who they were taught by, you know, different schools of thought. But some are very similar to acupressure points as well in traditional Chinese medicine. So I would like you to just take a moment and push on that solar plexus. Now, sometimes if it has not been stimulated before, it's gonna hurt. It can be very painful. So just be very light at first and just apply pressure and hold it. And just hold it until it begins to relax underneath your fingers. It's very good to promote relaxation. I like to do that before I go to a stressful clinical day or have a stressful, you know, presentation or anything coming up. I know it's going to be a long, very, very busy day, but it also is a good place to apply some pressure to before you're getting ready to go to bed. And apply pressure to that till it doesn't feel so tender anymore. And then you can also do that thumb walking up to the tips of all your toes from that solar plexus point. And that's how this practitioner, Laura Norman, liked to encourage sleep in her patients. Just hold on that. I'm going to stop sharing now and let me know how you feel after holding that pressure for on that point for a minute or two.
I think it felt nice, like relaxing.
Okay, what was it? Kind of sore at first?
My mom said hers was.
Yeah, I know mine are. Maybe it's a difference with age or, you know, any comorbid conditions. I know I have arthritis, so, and I'm on my feet a lot, so my feet hurt at the end of the day, even with good shoes and compression socks and massage or reflexology, you know, sometimes before my shift. It's very important as a nurse to take care of your feet. Hugely important to take care of your feet. So I want to add in that this is not, sorry, it is hot in here. We have had no air in our building all week, and I don't know how hot it is in here, but I'm sweating. Wish I could open the window in my office, but a couple of things I just want to show you real quick, not reflexology, but it really does help. I don't know if you can see these. These are phenomenal. Can you see these socks? Yep.
Yes.
So what you do, and I'm not going to model them for you because it'd be really hard to get my foot way up here to where my camera is on my desk. But you put them on, and one of these goes in between each one of your toes. And the directions, of course, that come with these say to start just about a fourth of the way down your toe, maybe a third if you can tolerate that feeling for the first several times you use it, and for, you know, a shorter amount of time. And then you go down to that, you know, third of the depth to half of the depth to the whole depth. But just to wear them for 15 minutes to upwards of an hour, depending on what you like, you take them off, your toes and your feet feel amazing. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced at the end of that long day, you know, you take your shoes off, you peel off your compression socks, your toes feel like they've been kind of squashed and they just don't feel right. At least I know I'm that way. Brooke, does your mom feel that way?
Yes.
Yes. These are a game changer. Oh my gosh. It is just absolutely amazing, the use of these and how your toes and your feet will feel afterwards. Again, I'm not paid to endorse any product, but by golly, I think they're Happy Feet or something like that. But if you're interested and you can't find it on Google, let me know and I'll try to find my receipt for them and send you that information. There's another thing I want to encourage you to do. Some of our previous presentations and when I've lectured in class, I've had my students use positive affirmations, because nothing is more powerful on our health than our brain and what we tell ourselves, right? We tell ourselves negative stuff all the time. We start to believe it, we start to be it, and it can really impact our health. So there are these socks. Someone turned me on to these socks and I give them to people that are special to me, but there are studies showing that positive affirmations used during the times where you're drifting off to sleep, you know, just kind of hanging out on that recliner, watching something and you start to feel yourself doze off, you know, those sorts of moments right before you go to bed at night, as you feel yourself getting sleepy, to see written, you know, a positive affirmation stays with your brain through the night, and you wake up kind of feeling like that, especially if, again, you see them first thing in the morning. So I want to show you these. These are really cool. I don't know if you can see that. Like on the top of this, it says, I am amazing. And the bottom just says, amazing, right? So I know when I was going through some tough times in school, finishing up my PhD, I also have a pair, I couldn't find them to show you, but it says, I am smart. And that's one that I always have my students kind of chant before they take exams and stuff. It's like, I am smart. You have to believe that you are smart. There are some, especially ones I got from my mom, especially, before she was battling leukemia and stuff, that said, happy. There are all sorts of great ones, and it didn't have to be a sock, but as you're lying down, your feet are kind of sticking up and you can't help but see them sometimes. So just something to get in your subliminal message for your brain to pick up and think about as you drift off to sleep is always a good thing. But any questions or concerns, issues, anything you want to discuss? I hope you all enjoyed tonight's interactive reflexology presentation.
Yes, ma'am. We enjoyed it. And if you don't mind, if you could send those files that you said, like email them so we could, because I don't know, maybe I just don't know how to view it on here.
No problem.
Yeah,
No
I think.
problem. Yeah, I can email those to everyone, and I can send a copy of the slides as well.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, y'all take care. Have a good night.
Thank you, you too.